And when I was a child, I used to be on the side handing out water bottles to the runners.
Wow.
And that I used to do that was a yearly thing for me and my cousins. You know, we'd be at my granny's and we'd run down to the street and we used to get excited and we would hear there would be like a host like calling out people running. Maybe there was someone in a wearing an outfit or something, or they'll call out someone's name. And I feel like everyone coming together on the street, encouraging that person, that was something that I really enjoyed. And seeing a runner just take my bottle of water, that got me excited. Thought I'm doing my little bit.
Welcome to Runs World Podcast with me, Rick Pearson.
And me, Ben Hobson. And our guest today, Perri Shakes-Drayton.
Welcome to the podcast, Perri.
Thank you for having me.
So we are really intrigued about your running because you're a 400-metre hurdler, brilliant runner, Team GB runner, but now...
And then 400 metres.
400 metres as well.
Hurdles, 400.
The
Let's not miss out the big bit of the 400 metres.
And now the marathon, which isn't something that you would associate necessarily with a kind of 400-metre runner. So how has this happened?
Well, first of all, I love a challenge.
Yeah.
Second of all, some people may not know, I actually started off as a distance runner.
Didn't know.
Yeah, right. So
Rick, that's 10 seconds we spent on Wikipedia this morning has not... Yeah.
That is how I was first introduced into athletics. So that was through primary school.
Yeah.
As you do sports day and stuff. But then my teacher was like, I think you should try cross country. And I was very keen, done the cross countries, I'd done a mini marathon, which is 2.6 miles.
Yeah.
So in terms of long distance running, I'm not really afraid of it, but I know a marathon is a load more miles compared to that as a child.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't mind distance running.
That's interesting. So it's almost like a return in some ways to like the way, like how you started.
Or there's certainly there's like a small bit of familiarity with just going further than because when we've spoken to like athletes who've come from like a short distance, maybe middle distance or whatever, sprinters, and they talk about running further. It's alien, like completely, like none of their training, like even in the most would run 5K or something like that sort of stuff. So it's interesting that you've got like, you can just know what beyond 3 miles, you're all good. Like you. And
also like when I was training specifically for the 400 meters hurdles, I actually had to go above distance I would go for 5K runs, do park runs and things like that.
Right, okay.
Because you have to have obviously your distance, you then speed endurance. I'll do a bit of 800s, and then there was times I'll do 60 meters. So it was an all-rounder. Being a 400-meter athlete, I feel like you got all-rounder. And I was like, if this is what needs to be done to be the best in the world, I'm going to do it. Now, okay, obviously I've retired, hung up my spikes, and I was like, I want another challenge.
Yeah.
And I always said whilst I was competing, one day I'm going to do a marathon. And I've decided this year I'm going to do it.
Right. How big a deal is it that it's the London Marathon? Because obviously you grew up in London.
Yes.
So you presumably you knew the race, did the mini marathon already. So it's like
I mean, London, obviously born and raised, and I feel like it's a beautiful city. Don't get me wrong, I grew up in East London, and they actually do run through East London. And when I was a child, I used to be on the side handing out water bottles to the runners.
Wow.
And that I used to do that was a yearly thing for me and my cousins. We'd be at my granny's and we'd run down to the street and we used to get excited and we would hear there would be like a host like calling out people running. Maybe there was someone in a wearing an outfit or something, or they'll call out someone's name. And I feel like everyone coming together on the street, encouraging that person, that was something that I really enjoyed. And seeing a runner just take my bottle of water, that got me excited. Thought I'm doing my little bit. And that's kind of continued, even as I've not been able to take my son yet because obviously we had the lockdown situation. And then there was one in October. I missed that. Yeah. And I was like, no, it's back in April what it originally was. I was like, I'm gonna be a part of it.
Quality.
Yeah. When was the decision made then, and how's it gone? How's the training? When did you suddenly sign up and go like, right, I'm doing this?
I actually signed up. I think it was in November. I was like, okay. First, I need to find a charity because I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know about this ballot. I didn't know that people maybe signed up previously and never made it. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to have to find a charity. And I did. So I reached out to Tommy's. So I'm running for Tommy's charity. And basically, the reason why I chose those guys is because I have a story to share that I had an ectopic pregnancy. I didn't know nothing about an ectopic pregnancy going through it. I was like, sorry, some awareness needs to be made for this. And if it means me telling my story and raising money and I'm doing something that I love, I feel like it's a perfect opportunity. So I'm actually enjoying the training, funny enough. It's like, because sometimes I feel like to switch up the training is good to change where you train.
Okay,
Like, obviously, I started off doing smaller distances, so it started with like 30 minutes runs and then we went to 40. And now if you told me 70-minute run or 2 hours, I'm like, no, that's short. Because the most I've done is 19 miles.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that was on the weekend, actually, I done that. I'm sore now. But I recovered and I done a run this morning. But it's just like, I feel like it brings me joy running. As much as when I was competing, I said, once I retire, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with athletics. But I've not seen a track. I've not seen a track. It's just that I just run on the streets and I kind of take everything in. I have my music playing. I have my brother running beside me because he's also running a marathon for another charity, autism. And it's just like, that's brought us closer together as well. You know, it's just like, I think there's more to it to get to that start line. I feel like I've got it's something that I grew up being a part of, being that little girl on the side of the road, and then aspiring to be there. And it's like, now I just want to get to that start line and kind of just finish it, really.
Oh, that's great.
I find it.
That's great.
So when you were competing and training as an athlete, you talked about the joy then that you get from running these longer distances and being out and sort of, was there a joy in there when you were training, or was it like, I'm good at this and I've got to get it done?
Yeah.
And the difference now between like longer distances and just generally enjoying running?
So when I was competing, it was like, this is a job. I have goals that I want to achieve. I need to run a certain time. I need to lift a certain amount of weight. And it was like, if I don't get up and train, then I'm not going to be the best. A lot of pressure was on me. That's how I felt. Did I enjoy it? Not all the time, I'll be honest with you. The sessions hurt. Someone asked me the other day, what is easier, training for 400 meter hurdles or the marathon? Going to say the marathon. And why I say it, if you know what lactic acid is, I don't wish that on anybody. It's horrible. You can't breathe, you can't see. It's just, you don't want to sit down, you don't want to stand up, you don't know what to do. There's no quicker way of getting rid of it. You know, you just kind of fight through the pain. I don't have pain or when I'm running, soreness when I'm finished, when I'm doing my long runs. But it's a decision that I've made. I feel there's no pressure on me. And people seeing it, oh wow, she's actually taking it seriously. It's not like I decided I'm going to run the marathon and I'm just going to turn up on the day. You know, I got myself a coach. Actually, I'm working with a coach who writes me a program. He works for Nike. Lloyd. Yeah.
Former guest.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been
he's been on a couple of times.
No, he's been good. I mean, I don't see him one-on-one, but he'll send me my program. I go on the phone, and it's my choice if I want to get it done or not.
Right.
And I give him feedback. That is how I wanted it, and I've been keeping up with it. And also, I must say, if I feel like I'm sore and need more recovery, I make that decision, and he understands that. And I feel like that's come from experience as being an athlete.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, when I was competing, I think I was more like, oh no, I'm going to get through this. And now I'm like, let's just be sensible.
Yeah.
It's
It's really interesting what you say about the kind of pain difference between 400 metres to the marathon, because I said this to the Run As Well team a while ago, and I was like, 5K can definitely be harder than a marathon. It just depends how you run it. And 400 metres or a mile can be as difficult. It's just the intensity of pain is so great in those. And I think it gets underestimated, actually.
Yes, you're exactly right. Like,
we shut him down when he said that.
Yeah,
by the way,
no, honestly, you run your best mile and tell me after that.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you, because it's requiring some speed in there. You know, I'm not the speed that I would run 400 meters is not the speed I'm going to run a marathon. Yeah.
I thought we had breaking news here that we were going to like.
Someone done that calculation. Like, so how fast can you run 400 meters? Well, let's work that out.
50-50. What's PB? Yeah.
It's not happening. It's not happening. So it is a lot different.
Yeah.
I think that's
interesting. Have you been like surprised how much you've enjoyed marathon training? Because a lot of people will be like, marathon training is a slog, but talking to you, it's like there's this great positivity about it.
Yeah, it has surprised me, even down to like the amount of miles that I've ran.
Yeah.
A lot of these routes that I'm taking, I would usually drive there, and now I can say, oh, I've run that route.
Yeah.
And I think it also brings me joy when I'm running along and I see somebody else running. And I'm like, wow, you picked yourself up, got out of your bed.
Yeah.
And decided to go for a run. And I'm that runner who's just like, give them the head nod.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, oh, well done, that bit of encouragement. Even though some people give me some looks like, you know, like,
Oh, it's funny. You can never tell.
Yeah, you know why you can't tell? You don't know how long they've been running for. You don't know when they started.
They're mile 17 of 23. They're like, stop nodding at me. Yeah.
We need those T-shirts, don't we? Those sort of smart T-shirt that says how far you've run, how far you're running for. Yeah. It's perfect. 'Cause you're right. Yeah. Where do you run, Perri? Do you run, like, have you got like a favourite place to run? Do you try and mix it up?
I try and mix it up. So I run around my area. That's one. So I'll go. I'm often I run like along the dual carriageway, so it's a bit like those are cars, and you have cars tooting me, you know, encouraging me, like. And then sometimes I've been down to central London.
Yeah.
So I've run from like Bow.
Yeah.
All the way up to.
The good canal route.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done that as well. I've done Greenway.
Yeah.
I've done went up to central London, Embankment, up to Battersea, National History Museum,
Nice.
Hyde Park. Oxford Street.
But
Yeah.
it's exploring, right?
I've discovered places that probably if I was on the train or, you know, driving, I wouldn't have seen. You know, so...
The Greenway's amazing.
Lovely, quiet.
Perfect for running on.
Yes.
I ran down it the other day and I was just like, this is untouched, and it's like dead straight. You don't know where you're going.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No traffic.
No, it's great.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. I think that's it. I think we talk about, especially when people like go on holiday and stuff, like you get somewhere new, the best way to look around the place is to get running shoes on and go and have a little run around. And I think that people don't quite get it, even in your own town, like where you live. Like
Totally.
the further you go, you suddenly get that sense of just like, could have driven that, didn't.
Yeah.
Explored, had a little run around. I think it's great. That's what one of those things that marathon training kind of brings, is that enforced miles thing.
And you mentioned about like holidays and stuff. I've actually been on holidays whilst doing the training.
Oh, right.
So I would like, all I need to do is bring my trainers along with me and then bring some light, because that's lightweight.
Yeah.
And like, I went to Spain, you know, and I was running, and that was in warmer conditions. I went to Grenada, very hilly conditions. So it's like, oh, I'm getting different types of like terrain and stuff, you know. And I'm like, I didn't even plan this, you know. It's
good.
like, but I'm still been able to continue my training.
Totally.
That's what I love. But and also, I must say, as well as the running, I have actually been doing some strength training. Yeah,
Crucial.
It's not just running that I'm doing,
No.
and that's the case of I have a history of like knee injury.
Yeah.
So that also surprised me. I thought I wouldn't be able to get through this because my knee.
Yeah.
You know, I had a surgery on my knee back in 2013. And odd times I'll get a bit of pain, especially when it's cold.
Okay, yeah.
So I know though I need to strengthen my legs up and around that area in order to make sure that knee's kind of like.
Oh, you're talking to two
protected.
people with bad knees. Don't worry about it.
So
Yeah.
the fact that I'm able to get through these long runs with someone with a history of a bad knee, I'm like, I'm surprised myself. And now I'm doing that program myself. So I'm like, well done, Perri. You know, keep that up. And that's a break also from just the running. Like, and I also thought, and when I started the program, I was like, I won't be doing all those runs. I'm going to probably jump on a bike or something like, because you know, there's alternatives.
Ellipticals or whatever.
No, I haven't been.
Just all runs.
Runs, yeah.
Quality, yeah.
So.
Praise off. I think that's interesting. I think obviously as an athlete you have to do a lot of power. Certainly for the 400, you're probably lifting quite big stuff.
Yes.
And then now you can kind of like know what you need to do.
Yep.
That education from that training kind of kicks in, and you know that the importance of being able to lift and keep strong, and how that, you know, means you can keep running those miles.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
How about footwear? We always ask people about the shoes they're wearing.
Yep. I've been trialing and testing trainers. I really have, because and
I noticed you've got the Invincible 3 on your feet right now.
Yeah, and that's just to walk around.
Right.
Not running in there. No.
Too soft.
Too soft, and then they've got a bit of a heel. I've also have to gone up in size.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Allow for foot movement to happen, because you don't want your trainers like spikes. I
Tight.
want them tight,
Yeah.
comfy.
Yeah, right.
No, not for marathon. I've gone up in size. I feel comfortable. It's more like more flatter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
kinda.
it.
Yeah. So.
And have you got yourself a race day?
Right. So I feel like I need to wear them in a bit. I haven't touched them yet.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna put them on.
Yeah.
Maybe next week, because I don't want to put a brand new pair of trainers on. Don't think it will make sense.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Wear
Avoid
them
that.
in a
Yeah.
bit.
Wear them in a bit. Definitely.
Yes.
So we were looking at other Olympians who'd gone, like, who from a shorter distance, who'd done a marathon. And we were like, obviously, Kelly Holmes did it. 3:11, pretty punchy effort.
Right.
I mean, Kelly's a good runner. You and Thomas, 3:58.
Okay.
There are others, but have you thought about a time yourself where you're like, or is it's your first marathon, isn't it? So maybe it's difficult to put those sort of time expectations. But obviously, you're training well.
But you do have to submit a time on your application,
Yeah, right.
when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
register.
Yeah.
So I said 4 hours, and I want to change to 4.5 because I was like, when I was training, I was like, this is hard.
Yeah.
I've got
You'll be all right because you can move back. You can't move forward
Okay.
at the start. That's the
that's
key.
true.
So you can go as slow. Like if you're in wave whatever it is for
Yeah.
your time, you can just keep going backwards. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't go forwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're good.
And I mean, I've got my brother running with me,
Right.
and he's nowhere near as like athletic as me.
Okay.
But I must say I'm impressed by him.
Yeah.
Because he's a smoker actually, and I think if he didn't smoke, he would be a lot better.
Sure, yeah.
But he keeps up with me. But I know I don't want to leave him. So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thing is just.
You got to get around. Yeah.
I'm like, I'll stick with him because he's going to need that motivation. So I'm going to stick by his side.
There's also more important things, right?
Yeah.
Like people do chase times and all that sort of stuff, but I think that certainly with London, you can see it. It's such a massive raiser of money for
sure.
charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge community thing, and it kind of like brings London together. And then you say, like, if you've got someone that you can run with and make that day better for both of you, that's
Exactly.
the biggest thing that you
And
can.
also, I also told a lot of my family and friends to come down and support me. So I think
Hand
I
out
will be
water.
So I think I'll probably stop, say hello. So that's going to
Yeah.
kill off some time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Take
yeah.
a picture.
Oh, you got
I
to.
really want to enjoy
Yeah.
the moment.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'll be doing it again. I say that though. I say
Sounds
I
like
wouldn't
it's
do
going
it.
all right.
I say that I wouldn't do it again. I mean, there's other
I
cool
think you get.
cities.
I
There's
think
other cool cities. You know,
There's all the majors, right?
Yeah, I know.
I was going to ask you. I mean, has this kind of, because you've enjoyed marathon training and it's shown you different sides to running probably. Do you feel now that actually you will run? It would be part of your life for a very long time.
Because I said to myself, because I think my husband said to me, so what are you going to do once it's finished? And it's true, because I have had to wake up and start my day with runs, early runs. And it's just a bit like, okay, so what will happen after? More likely I will keep it up.
Yeah. Routine.
Yeah.
How has it been to routine being a mum? How's that? Because obviously before training as an athlete, everything's laid out
Yes.
for you. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
Now, obviously married,
Yeah.
children. Do you, like
Right,
the juggle.
The juggle. The first thing is, right, when I try and escape and leave the house early, my son wakes up. I've left him sleeping. He's like, Mummy? I'm like, you were just sleeping. I'm like, right, I'm calling my husband, like, Mike, like, see to him. But I'm not even like that. I'm just like, do you want your breakfast? So I do all of that. I could have snuck out the house, but I'm like, no, he needs to be changed.
Yeah,
I've got
gotta
to
do
give
that.
him his breakfast before I go out and do my run. And then once he's all settled, I'm like, over to my husband. I try and get it done early as possible because I know I've got the rest of the day to be with my son. He definitely is the priority. It's like you say, I could have been leaving the house early to go and do my run, but if he's woken up, I'm like, I've got to see to him. When I do my weight and strength training, he usually wants to get involved. And he's there, like, oh, he thinks it's a game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
see me doing some exercises and he thinks it's a game. Like,
I get bundled on.
Yeah.
If I'm on the floor,
yeah.
like doing dead bugs or
Yeah,
like with a band on, trying to strengthen something, and you just get piled on
Yes,
straight away. That's it. That's on the floor. Get him.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
the plank looks like a tunnel to my youngest.
Yeah, yeah.
He's sort of underneath.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what my son says. Tunnel?
Yeah.
And he got the car, he's got his car coming through. I'm like, oh, this is not
I
the
try.
time.
I've tried to utilise them as much as possible. So with the
Oh,
plank,
lovely, yeah.
they can climb on, and then that's like harder.
Yes.
So then there's
Extra weight.
more of a rep there. So
Yeah.
you kind of, but then they get off. It's actually I'm going to fall over. Like, come on. And then and then like the squatting with them.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
that one's a good
They
one.
can climb on the back, and
Yes.
then you can do all that. So
I can
it's
put him on his
they're
shoulders and
quite
things.
useful.
Put them to use.
They're quite
Exactly.
useful. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, if people want to find out more about your marathon journey and just you in general,
Yes.
where should they go?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at it's PSD. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok also.
Great.
There we go.
Oh, sorry, my Twitter is at Shakes-Drayton. My TikTok is also it's PSD. And then also, I have a page for raising money for the charity Tommy's. That's just giving, and if you type in my name, you'll find me.
Nice.
And I'm on YouTube. So basically, I'm on social media.
Amazing.
You'll
Just
find
Google
me.
it. Just Google it. We'll be good. Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time, Perri, and coming on the podcast, talking about your running. I think it's really inspiring what you're doing, and very best of luck at London later this month.
Thank you very much, guys.
I think it'll be great.
Thank you.
Perri, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you.
Great chat.